Evening, everybody. So recently I've been working on Omnitron, trying to bring it to, well, at least a full alpha and then beta. It's currently on Steam Greenlight. One thing though is initially it's pretty much a book sorting simulator where you feed books into a robot and to program it, and then he goes out and destroys the city. But the city destruction part in the prototype is not available, and a lot of people have asked for the possibility of destroying the city. So that's what I've been working on recently. I did not want to have to place every building manually. I didn't want to have to build the whole city by hand. So I've been working on a more procedural system that allows the city to generate itself and also allows for manual fine-tuning. So that's what I'm going to show tonight is this system. There's no art pass. The buildings are just simplistic. There's no textures on it. But it does show how you just place roads and everything sprouts up. So I'm going to take the city manager and drop it into the world. From here, I'm going to add intersections. I'm just going to put 2. So intersection 1 and intersection 0, they are labeled. Let's just move it up further up. And now I'm going to connect these 2 intersections by adding a road. You just add a road, say intersection index 1, 0, intersection index 1, 1, and there we go. We have a road. You can quickly just move the intersection and the road will follow. If we add 2 more intersections to make a square, so now we want to connect intersection 0 to intersection 3. So 0 to 3. It's all twisted weird because we haven't specified the direction. You can see in the comment 0 for east, 1 for south, west. So in this case, at intersection 0, we want to go south. And at intersection 3, we want to go north. So that's going to be 3. And now they're connected. You can also notice that it is possible to do curved roads. They don't have to be straight. You don't have to follow a grid. The roads will curve. Now if we continue this with more roads, so we wanted 1, 2, 2, and again it's going to be going south and going north. Let's make it a little more square. And then we want 3 to 2. Now intersection 2 seems to be on a little hill. So we're getting the houses actually, they're lifting up on the terrain. Let's just quickly go to landscape and flatten that out. I mean, it works. It's just we don't want to. Well, right now the system doesn't do the tiles in the square very well when the terrain is not flat. So there we go. It doesn't actually align to the slope. It's everything. The houses are built flat, the lots are built flat, so we just don't want to play too much around like that. In the future, I'd like to support it to have the roads properly curve up and the lots to properly snap to the terrain. But right now, it prefers flat-ish terrain. So with this now, you can see road 0, road 1, road 3, and road 2. The roads are actually numbered to simplify finding them in the road grid. That was just a little helper. Like I showed before, you can curve out the roads. The system does account for it. There's like no problem there. Grids are preferred. It just for now looks better. Especially with the lot size and everything. So the other features we have here, let's actually take the one that's in the foreground. So for 3, Right now the houses are green. I'm using the SimCity color codes. So residential, commercial, industrial. You've got zoning level and road level. So zoning level, if I go to zoning level 2, suddenly we have a much larger lots and it's bigger, richer houses. If I change those to commercial, it switches to these blue buildings that are on much larger lots. Same thing if I go to level 3 and switch to industrial. Actually, there's not enough space for it to fit, so we're going to move this out. There we go. We've got these big yellow factories that are trying to squeeze in with the road, but we don't have much space here. So if we move this up a bit more, there's just a bit of room. So let's go back to residential. Let's go back to level 1. The other option here is the road level. So road level 1 is just a simple 2-lane street. Road level 2 is 4 lanes. And then road level 3 is an actual boulevard with the little divider in the center, and the lampposts are actually different. So road level 1, you get alternating lampposts that are just, well, basically placed one after the other, left, right, on each side of the road. When you go to level 2, they actually become symmetrical. It's one on each side, always at the same level. And for the third one, with the boulevard, it's these lampposts in the center that curve outward. We also have little fire hydrants that are randomly placed along the roads. And all these are all instanced mesh. The meshes are all created. It's just an instant collection, and we just add everything. And one of the main goals of this was that everything is destructible. So if we actually start it and start controlling the robot, and I go down the street, I can knock the lampposts down, and we can go flying. Same thing for that little fire hydrant, which is hard to see, but it will go flying. The buildings, you can hit them. Right now there's no animation, they're not destructible meshes. All they do is they collapse down to the ground. There's no particle effects or anything, I just flatten them out. But every house can be destroyed. Now earlier I pre-built a bigger city. So if I back out here, I mean, it's not really big, it's just 8 streets. But you've got this much larger square, and at the same time you can actually grab the entire city and move it around the world, since everything is built around the main city manager. From in here also you can really stretch it out, curve the streets out. Add more intersections, connect them. It becomes really easy to build up your little city without too much hassle. I'm planning on adding a lot more random buildings so that you don't get all the same little houses. It would be random little houses constantly generated along the street. Just do some variants in the models. This is all built in. It all works. Like you can see in the commercial buildings, they're already alternating. There's just 2 models. And you have the bigger houses here for the level 2. So yeah, I'm using essentially SimCity rules. The original SimCity, that you just set up the zoning level, the type of house in the lot size will change automatically, and everything can just be destroyed. You can run around and hit everything. Just need better crumbling buildings now. If I tap this, it's going to start crumbling, falling to the ground, and then it disappears. So yeah, this is the current state of the city building. Still a lot of work to do, but it's going pretty nicely. Now the next step will be to automatically generate the cities, to essentially just say I want a grid that spans, let's say, 2 square kilometers, and it automatically generates intersections, makes it downtown with more complicated, well, not more complicated, but the bigger high-rises automatically congregate to the center of town, and have an industrial section, have all that automatically generated. And then also generate multiple cities in this, because I built a pretty big landscape here. So the goal is to have this big world that you can run around and just trash with the robot that you programmed. This is just early phase of the destruction. Thank you for your time, and have a good night.